substance, especially in the form of a liquid or pill. That is a treatment for illness or injury. I've got a fever, so I need to take some medicine. Examine,
examine,
to look at, or consider a person, or think carefully and in detail in order to discover something about them. The research examined the effect of alcohol on long-term memory. Vomit.
vomit,
The contents of your stomach has come up through your mouth. He's been vomiting all night after drinking too much alcohol. Terrible,
terrible,
very unpleasant or serious or bad. My mom was a terrible cook. Get rid of something or
get rid
somebody.
of something or somebody,
To remove something that you don't want any longer. Or to find a way to make someone leave because you do not want the person to be with you anymore. We finally got rid of my little sister by telling her scary stories. Walk out of something.
walk out of
To
something,
leave an event such as a meeting or a performance because you're unhappy, angry, or disapprove of something. All the parents walked out of the meeting. On-call room.
on call room,
If a worker such as a doctor is in the on-call room, he or she is available to work or make official visit at any time when needed. She is a doctor, so she often works overtime in the on-call room at the weekend. Situation.
situation,
The set of things that are happening and the condition that exist at a particular time and place. My sister has a good situation as a teacher in the local school. Something feels terrible because of the seafood.
something feel terrible because of seafood.
He vomits many times.
He vomit many times.
He wanted to get rid of the situation, so he called the nurses.
He wants to get rid of this situation, so he calls the nurse.
Unfortunately, no one replied to him.
Unfortunately, no one replies to him.
Something decides to walk out of the sick room and find a doctor.
Something decides to walk out of this room and finds
He
doctor.
makes his way to the on-call room, but there is no one there.
He makes his way to the on-call room, but there is no one there.
He goes back to his sick room.
He goes back to his room, sick room.
Luckily, he sees a girl with long black hair.
Luckily, he sees a girl with long black
He
hair.
looks at her and says, "Oh, nurse, nurse, help me."
He looks at her and says, "Oh no, no help me."
The nurse takes him into the room for a checkup.
The nurse takes him into the room for a checkup.
She says, "You can't eat seafood anymore.
She says, "You can't eat
You
seafood
should eat white
anymore."
rice now." Something eats 10 bowls of rice and takes medicine. His stomach then gets better.
His stomach gets better.
He sleeps and dreams about Mingwon.
He sleeps and dreams about Minung.
He has looked at her and said, nurse, nurse, help me. Has he looked at her and said, nurse, nurse, help me? Has he looked at her and said, let's go shopping?
No, she doesn't. No, he hasn't.
Has he held her hands and said, nurse, nurse, help me?
No, she hasn't.
Who has he looked at?
Something.
What has something said?
Something say, no, no, help me.
The nurse has taken him into the room for a checkup. Has the nurse taken him into the room for a checkup?
Yes, she has.
Has the engineer taken him into the room for a checkup?
No, she hasn't.
Has the nurse taken him into the room and talked to him?
No, she hasn't.
What has the nurse done?
The nurse takes him into the room for a checkup.
She said, you can't eat seafood anymore. You should eat white rice now. Has she said, you can't eat seafood anymore?
Yes, she has.
Has she said, you can't eat fruits anymore?
No, she hasn't.
Has something said, you can't eat seafood anymore. You should eat white rice now?
No, she hasn't.
What has the nurse said?
The nurse says, you can't eat seafood anymore. You should eat square right
Something
now.
has eaten 10 bowls of rice and taken medicine. Has something eaten 10 bowls of rice?
Yes, she has. He has.
Has something eaten 10 bowls of potatoes?
No, she hasn't.
Has something taken a nap?
No, she hasn't. He hasn't.
How many bowls of rice has something eaten? What has something done after eating? His stomach has got much better. Has his stomach got much better?